Caring for hens during mild winters. For those of you like myself who live somewhere where you have mild winters, you might be wondering, should you do anything different in the winter for your hens? I'm going to share with you what I do in our garden in the winter, and maybe that will give you some ideas about what you could do to keep your hens a little bit more comfortable during this time. Attach plastic sheets to the walls of your chicken run, and it will keep it warmer and drier, kind of like a greenhouse. And increase in food consumption. I noticed I'm refilling their food container more often in the winter, partly due there's less to forage on, and certainly now with avian flu lockdown, there is no foraging in the garden. Also, just like humans, we use more energy to keep ourselves warm when we're out in the cold. I use my plastic waterer and feeder during December, January, and February, and I bring my ceramic waterer and feeder inside the house. I don't want to risk using my ceramic ones during freezing conditions, and also since I'm not out in the garden much, I don't appreciate looking at them when I'm not sitting out there. Molting. Hens will lose their old, worn-out feathers and regrow lovely, nice, new, warm ones for the winter, like a new winter coat. I've made another video about how to care for hens in a molt. I'll put a link to that in the description below. Especially in winter, I'll provide extra protein as scrambled eggs to assist in regrowing new feathers. Things to do, enrichment ideas. In the winter, things slow down in the garden, and again with avian flu lockdown, things are really slow, so giving the hens different things to eat or look at during the winter months will help keep them more content. I've also made a video about enrichment ideas that you can watch after this if you're interested. Mite treatment. In the winter, we'll do a preventative treatment for mites because mites can be very contagious, and in the winter, the hens are in close quarters with each other more often, and mites can already be on your hens before they start showing symptoms. We did this past year a treatment of scaly legs on our hens, and I really don't want that coming back, so a little preventative treatment for the winter. And again, I feel like I keep saying this, but I did make another short video about treating your flock for scaly legs. Check for frostbite. One night, 2 of our hens had apparently left their house box and instead perched in the run, perched on the branches in the run. There must have been some reshuffling drama happening in the box, and they got kicked out. I don't know. But when we came out in the morning, those 2 hens, the very tips of their comb were a bit black, and it was like dried blood. So, poor hens. We were really bad about that. So we did a Vaseline treatment, and that cleared up. Fresh, warm water every day. If it were me, I wouldn't personally want to be drinking almost ice-cold water when I'm already cold. But hey, that's just me. Our chicken house and run is predator-proof, and in the summer at night, we let the hens roost wherever they want to in this area. But now in the winter, we make sure that they are roosting at night in this little house box, which is in like the top left of the coop run, and it's got the highest perches. So it's got like a door with a little window on it, and that whole bit opens up for cleaning, and then there's a little entrance on the side, and that's where they can go in and out of it. We've got 3 new hens that are under a year old, and they've up until now have been used to roosting wherever they want, but now they need to stay in that house box at night. It helps the hens conserve heat when the 5 of them are all together. So we have to double check. So initially we were going in there and having to move them where we wanted to put them on the high perches. And after a few nights of doing that, they mostly got the hang of it. That's where they need to sleep now. Hi, I'm Beth from Garden City Chickens. Weekly, I make a video about my little flock of hens and my little garden in the United Kingdom. I live in Wales in the United Kingdom, and our coldest months of the year are December, January, and February, where our highs are 7 degrees Celsius on average, which is about 45 degrees Fahrenheit, and our average lows at night are 1 Celsius or 33 degrees Fahrenheit. So during the winter, it's a mild winter, the hens need a little bit of different attention. I grew up in Ohio in the U.S., and the winters there were colder with lots of snow, and I didn't keep hens while I was growing up in Ohio, so I don't have that to compare to, like, what's it like caring for hens in, like a proper wintry place versus the mild winters in Wales. There's some Americans I do follow on Instagram who keep chickens, and some of their pictures are really extreme in the winter, like blizzards, like assaulting their chicken coops, or they'll have these really deep snow paths dug, and the hens are like here, and the snow's like above their head. So if that's you and you live in a place like that, I'd love to know what it's like for you caring for hens in the winter versus the summer. Feel free to comment below. Do you care for your hens differently in the winter? Where do you live? Feel free to comment below or send me a message. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next week. Bye!